And when they're 8, your job really, when they're that young, is to make them fall in love with archery. You don't have to belabor form and make them do repetitious things and all. It makes it too much like school, right? Pop balloons, give them one little thing, occasional reminders, let them pop balloons and just have a good time. Come up with a fun training exercise like stepping on and off the balance disc, you know, and you can slowly bring those lessons in while keeping it fun. But if you don't do anything else but just make them fall in love with archery, when they're a cadet or they're in the under 18 division and it's an absolute bloodbath and they have to work their butts off just to get anywhere, they'll actually go through the work because they're in love with shooting bow. They're not in love with the idea of winning the tournament. If they're in love with the idea of getting sponsored by a bow company, or they're in love with the idea of winning the event, if they don't win the event or they don't get sponsored by somebody, they're going to quit. Or I've seen some, all they wanted to do was just be sponsored and recognized by a bow company. The minute they got that, they stopped shooting. So make them in love with the process of learning how to be good, and then they'll stick the longest because they love doing the thing, not what the thing will get for them, right? So that way it's not results-based. Their love for it isn't results-based, it's activity-based. Say, oh good, I get to shoot my bow today. That'll be the best to keep your club, keep people in archery as long as you can, right? So I do this thing to keep my brain, my decision maker turned on when I'm shooting, because it's really easy to just get in the flow of shooting and your brain turns off and then you make a mistake, right? So under my breath, when I step up to the line with my bow, even if I'm practicing, I do everything the same, is I'm talking to myself, okay, let me get this right, right? And that little, okay, let me get this right, that turns my brain, okay, we're shooting now, right? And I have a particular point that when I snap my arrow on the string, that's the point that I shrink my attention span and I get really into what it is. I'm as ADD as anybody could ever get, right? So if I don't do it on purpose, I will be paying attention to stuff going on in the show up there in the top. I'll be hearing conversations over there and I'll have everything going at once and I'll make a mistake. But by intentionally, I give myself a point. You say, okay, you have to concentrate when you shoot. Okay, yeah, sure. When do you start concentrating, right? And for me, it's when I snap the arrow on the string and then I'm talking to myself. All right, let's get this right. Okay, fingers, grip, target. All right, here we go. Doop, doop, pin, peep, bang. Oh yeah, that was good. That's exactly what I want. Yeah, I really want that. And then I go through the process again. And for her, if you, make it easy, give her just one thing. Because she's probably got a whole bunch of other stuff going on, and that I don't know means that she was probably rolling something in her head that didn't have anything to do with archery, right? So if you give her something verbal that she can just do under her breath where nobody else can hear, give it one thing and just kind of keep it easy and set her up to get some sort of success that you can measure. It can be anything. You know, the last thing it'll be is score, right? But it'll be, did you catch her setting her fingers right in the release before she moved on to the next step? If you caught her this many times in a row, success, man, you shattered your record, man. You did it 6 times in a row this time. I've been watching, I can tell that it's working. You're doing really good, right? Come up with any way to get some sort of success, because we all know if you're going to the gym all the time and you're starving yourself to death and you're not losing any weight, you're gonna go buy a cake, right? Because if you're not getting results for all the work, if there's nothing that you can see is getting better, you're not gonna stick to it, right? And that's kind of the bubble when people get up into that area that the skipped steps or lack of athletic ability or whatever starts making it hard for a little while, you got to come up with some other way to measure or show success or progress so that they can get through that little rough spot. And if you put it on a graph, it would be, you suck, you suck, you suck, you really suck. Oh God, this is bad. And right about here is where everybody quits, right? But just on the other side of that, when your brain gets all the wires twisted together and it starts to click, it takes off and your scores take off. Right? So find some way to keep her in it with just any measurable success at all that she can see. You can't make it up because she won't trust you. It's got to be something that she can see and feel. Right?